Beginning. The night the stars came too close. The first thing everyone noticed was the silence. Not the peaceful kind, the wrong kind. Birds stopped calling. Insects vanished. Even the constant hum of the city seemed muted, like someone had turned reality's volume knob halfway down. That was the night the object entered Earth's atmosphere. Governments called it a meteor at first, then a probe, then nothing at all. By morning, the official story was unidentified atmospheric debris, which was how authorities usually said we have no idea what's happening and would prefer you didn't ask. I was 17, couldn't sleep, and had climbed onto the roof of my apartment building with a cheap telescope I barely knew how to use. I liked the stars. They were honest. They didn't pretend to understand us. That's when I saw it. A dark shape against the sky, moving too slowly to be falling, too deliberately to be drifting. It shimmered, not glowing, but bending the starlight around it, like a shadow cut out of space itself. Then it vanished. No explosion. No sound. Just gone. The next day, emergency broadcasts warned people to stay indoors near the industrial district. Drones buzzed constantly overhead. Something had landed. They didn't tell us what. I found out by accident. I was cutting through the abandoned transit tunnels after school, an old shortcut I'd used for years, when the air changed. It grew colder, sharper, like standing near exposed metal in winter. Then I heard breathing. Slow. Controlled. Not panicked. I froze. From the darkness ahead, two eyes opened. They weren't glowing. They were reflective, catching the faint emergency lights and throwing them back in deep shades of red and violet. A figure stepped forward. She was tall, thin, humanoid, but wrong in ways that made my instincts scream. Her skin was pale, almost colorless, with faint, branching patterns beneath it like veins made of light. Her movements were smooth, predatory, without effort. She tilted her head, studying me. I took a step back. "So," she said, her voice calm and precise, "this planet does produce sentient prey." My heart slammed against my ribs. "I'm not," I started. She blurred. One moment she was 10 feet away. The next, she was inches from my face, eyes locked onto mine with terrifying focus. "Do not run," she said. "I am not feeding." Feeding. The word echoed in my head. "You're a vampire," I whispered before I could stop myself. She blinked. That is an inaccurate mythological parallel, but close enough for now. My legs trembled. "You're an alien." "Yes. And you eat people." She considered. "That is also an oversimplification." I swallowed hard. She inhaled suddenly and stiffened. Her eyes widened. She stepped back as if burned. "That is not possible," she said. "What?" I asked, my voice shaking. She stared at me, something like shock crossing her features. "Your blood," she said slowly. "It does not smell like food." Middle. What she really was. We stood there in silence, the tunnel humming softly around us. "You're not hungry?" I asked. She looked confused. Genuinely confused. "I should be," she said. "By all biological metrics, you are compatible prey. Warm-blooded. Oxygen-breathing. High neural complexity." "Glad to hear it," I muttered. She ignored me. "But your blood is altered." I frowned. "Altered how?" She paced in a tight circle, movements precise, controlled. "To my species, blood is not sustenance in the way you imagine. It is information, memory, chemical history." That made my skin crawl. "And mine?" I asked. She stopped in front of me. "Yours is noisy," she said. "Chaotic. It carries markers I have never encountered." "That sounds bad." "It is unprecedented," she corrected, "and therefore dangerous." "For you?" For both of us. She straightened. I am designated Kathra. My kind are known among your folklore as vampires because we harvest biological data through blood consumption. So you do drink blood? Yes, she said simply, but not for pleasure, and not without consequence. I stared at her. Then why aren't you attacking me? She hesitated. Because your blood triggers something else, she said. Recognition. Recognition of what? She met my eyes. Of extinction. That shut me up. Kathra explained as we moved deeper into the tunnels, away from surface patrols. Her ship had crashed. She was injured, not visibly, but at a cellular level. Earth's atmosphere was barely compatible with her biology. Her species, the Varethi, were interstellar archivists. They traveled from world to world, consuming trace amounts of blood from dominant species to understand their biology, psychology, and history. Predators, I said. She shook her head. Observers. Your species hunts to eat. We harvest to learn. And when you're done learning? I asked. We leave, she said. If the species is stable. And if it's not? She didn't answer. Instead, she asked, What is your name? Eli, I said. Eli, she repeated carefully. Your blood suggests prior genetic interference. I stiffened. What interference? She studied me. You carry dormant markers, non-human in origin, ancient, older than your civilization. My stomach dropped. That's impossible. Your species has been visited before, she said calmly. Long ago. I thought of myths, of gods, of stories humanity dismissed as imagination. Why me? I asked. Because whatever altered your blood also altered your species' trajectory, she said. And now it may alter mine. Over the next days we hid. The city above went into lockdown. Military drones searched abandoned zones. News anchors spoke of contamination risks and hostile entities. Kathra grew weaker. I need to feed, she admitted one night. Soon. On someone else? I asked. Yes. I felt sick. That means killing them? No, she said sharply. We do not kill unless necessary. But I cannot guarantee safety with your blood nearby. I backed away. Then leave. I cannot, she said. My ship is beyond repair, and your blood anchors me. I stared at her. So, what, you're stuck here with me? For now, she said. And that terrifies me. Middle. The hunger and the choice her condition worsened. She grew slower, less stable. The faint patterns beneath her skin dimmed. I am running out of time, she said. I sat across from her in the old tunnel station, surrounded by rusted rails and flickering lights. Isn't there another option? I asked. She looked at me. There is one. I waited. I could feed from you, she said. Not enough to kill, but enough to stabilize. Every alarm in my body went off. And what happens to me? She hesitated. Unknown. That's not reassuring. Your blood resists my senses, she said. Consuming it may grant insight, or it may cause neurological collapse. In you. Or in me. So we'd both be gambling. Yes. I laughed weakly. Of course. Above us, explosions echoed faintly. The search was closing in. If they find you, I said, they'll experiment on you. Yes. And if they find me with you, you will be considered compromised, she finished. I thought of my family, my school, my normal, boring life. Then I thought of the way she'd stepped back from me in the tunnel, not to attack, but to protect herself. You're not a monster, I said quietly. She looked surprised. Your species disagrees. My species has a history of being wrong, I said. I took a breath. Do it. Her eyes widened. You understand the risk? I understand that doing nothing is also a choice, I said. She approached slowly, carefully, as if afraid I'd change my mind. I will be precise, she said. Minimal transfer. She placed 2 fingers against my wrist. There was no pain, just a strange pressure, a sensation like static beneath my skin. She froze. Eli, she whispered. What? This blood, it carries encoded memory, she said. Not yours. Yours is layered atop it. My vision blurred. I saw flashes, ancient skies, unfamiliar stars, beings like Kathra standing beside early humans, altering DNA to help them survive a dying planet. They hadn't come to rule. They'd come to save. I collapsed. She caught me. When I woke, hours later, she was different. Stronger, brighter, but afraid. What did you see? I asked weakly. She looked at me with something like awe. Your species was never meant to be food, she said. You were meant to be heirs. Ending. When the predator learns mercy, the military found us the next day. They stormed the tunnels, weapons raised, fear sharp in the air. Kathra stepped in front of me. I will not harm them, she said softly, but I will not be taken. I stood beside her. She raised her hands. The air shifted. Every soldier froze, not paralyzed, but overwhelmed by sudden understanding. Images flooded their minds. Truth unfiltered. When it ended, they lowered their weapons. Kathra was dying again. Using that ability had cost her. I'm sorry, I said, panicked. I thought. You gave me a choice, she said. My species forgot how rare that is. She smiled faintly. We came to harvest, she said. But your blood reminded us why we began observing in the first place. What happens now? I asked. My people will come, she said. Not as predators. Not as gods. Observers? I asked. Partners, she corrected. Her body dissolved into light, transmitted skyward in a beam only I could see. Weeks later, the world learned the truth. We were not alone, and we never had been. When people ask me now, was she really a vampire alien? I think of her confusion in that tunnel, her restraint, her fear. She was, I say, but then she smelled my blood. And she remembered what mercy was.